Hello, welcome back to your YOGANUARY challenge with me, Emilie. Today we are on day 26 and it's a Sunday, so we have our Sunday yin sessions. For today's practice, you may need some props. All the positions can be done without any props, but they just help to bring a little bit extra comfort as we will be staying in positions for a lot longer. So if you have these at hand, I would recommend having a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can also use a cushion. If you have like a longer cushion like this would be great. But you can also use a normal cushion or even a pillow from your bed. And also if you have some blocks, would be great. You can use blocks. You can also get a blanket and maybe fold it up small, or even for these positions, the cushion should be good enough as long as it's a little bit sturdier and not a flat cushion. So grab yourself some props if you want them. Grab yourself a mat, some comfortable clothes, and let's get started. We're going to start off today in our balasana, our child's pose. So you can bring the knees as wide as your mat. If you want, you can bring a little bit of a blanket or some cushioning under your knees if you feel like you would like a little bit more space here. And then we start walking the hands towards the front of the mat, mounting our head down towards the mat. Again, you can bring a block underneath your forehead, whichever setting feels good. Or if you would like and you have, you can also bring a bolster or a pillow underneath you just to have something to release your head onto. We're reaching out the arms in front of us. This position can also be done without any props. So you can also just walk your hands towards the top of the mat and let your forehead come down to the mat. Wherever we are in our yin, we want the poses to be more passive. So let your shoulders sink into the mat, the block, the cushion, and allow your arms to get heavy. We're slowing down the breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Finding that slow, steady breath. Inviting more softness into our body, into our breath, into our mind. Allowing ourselves to consciously slow down, letting go of any thoughts that are in your mind. Also using the exhales to release any tension across your physical body, maybe in your muscles, maybe unclenching your jaw, releasing the facial features. And continuing to invite the slower breath. This slower and soft energy. If you find that your mind is wandering, bring it back towards your breath, following and focusing on the inhales and exhales. Continuing to observe the sensations across the physical body. Being where you can breathe and invite in more space with every inhale. And observing where you can release and let go with the exhales. Keeping that focus on your breath. We're going to take 3 rounds, deep breaths in our balasana. Feeling and feeling the expansion across not only our chest and our belly, but also the back of the rib cage. That slow and gentle exhale, feeling gentle contraction. Going for 2 more rounds like this. And 1 last round. The next inhale, we're going to start from the base of the spine, coming out of the position. Really taking your time, slowly uncurling vertebrae by vertebrae as you slide the hands back towards you. Hands are going to come on top of your knees and your thighs. We're reaching the crown of the head tall, allowing your shoulder blades to drop down your spine, keeping a soft gaze or your eyes closed. 1 more round of breath. And then you can gently blink the eyes open at the end of your 3rd exhale. Slowly coming back through center. We're going to move to our pigeon pose or swan pose in our yin yoga, but it's our pigeon pose, or you might know it from our vinyasa. So this one, if you don't want any blocks or you don't have any blocks or any props, that's completely fine. However, we can also use props here to just find a little bit more space and to maybe find a little bit more comfort in the position. So we're going to bring the hands towards the top of the mat, and then you're going to slide your right knee so it comes next to your right wrist, and then bring the left foot across towards the left wrist. Then slowly untucking the back toes, maybe sliding it down a little bit. Take a moment here to notice how it feels in your body, in your legs. Depending on where we're at, we can bring a block underneath our right glute. This will maybe give us a little bit more space to also bring the right foot and the right shin at a right degree angle. Then you can bring a bolster in front of you as you lie down, coming to lie onto the bolster, releasing your forehead here. If you don't have yoga props, we can also use 2 pillows or cushions. So you want a slightly firmer cushion to come underneath your right glute. And then you can bring another cushion or a longer pillow maybe to come lie on top of it. If you're feeling that cushions aren't giving you enough height, you can stack them. Sometimes our bolsters are a little firmer. You can also fold it in half and then bring your body down towards your cushion. Third option, you can also go without any props into this position, so leaving everything aside, allowing yourself to find space if it's very intense on your outer right hip and maybe your hamstring. I would recommend bringing something underneath it, but if you don't fancy it, you can also slowly start coming down towards the mat and releasing your forehead down towards the mat. Elbows and hands can stay close towards us, or you can also reach them out in front of you. And then wherever we are, we're breathing, slowing down, allowing our body in the front of the body to melt back down into the mat. Observing the sensations across your body. Always returning to the breath as our guide to invite in that space and to let go of that tension with every inhale and with every exhale. And as you keep breathing, noticing how the body feels, you can always bring in props if you want a little bit more comfort. And similarly, you can always release props if you feel you can allow yourself to go a little bit closer towards the mat. Observing where your body's at today, not pushing yourself. Notice as you continue to focus on the breath, everything that's coming into your mind, into your body, all the emotions that you're feeling, all the physical things that you're feeling, but also the energetical things, the thoughts, the feelings, allowing everything to come to the surface, but also allowing yourself that space to let them go and to continue on their journey, not holding on to anything. And then we're going to take 3 more rounds of breath. Slow and controlled. At the end of your 3rd and final exhale, slowly as you inhale, start pressing back into the hands and the forearms. Once again, very slowly coming out of the position. First coming to your high swan or your high pigeon as you squeeze the shoulder blades to lift your chest. Reaching the crown of the head up. And as you next exhale, if you have any props underneath your right glute, you can remove them. We're going to slowly come to roll onto the right glute, bringing and swinging the left leg all the way forwards, and then extending both of your feet out towards the top of the mat. You can shake out the legs a little bit. You can close your eyes or keep a soft gaze. Finding a long spine, dropping your shoulder blades down your spine. We're taking another 3 rounds of breath in our L sit. At the end of your 3rd exhale, slowly blink the eyes open. Take a big inhale through the nose and a big exhale, sigh out. We're going to go for our caterpillar pose next. So keeping the legs extended. Once again, you can bring in some props. So if you want to bring a little bend into your knees, you can bring a blanket underneath. You can also bring the bolster underneath or a cushion. Anything that gives you a little bit of lift and a little bit of releasing of that tension across the back of the legs. In our caterpillar or our forward fold, we also want to make sure that we're not flexing the toes. So you can stay here and then fold forwards from here. You can also bring your bolster and or another cushion out in front of you. Bring it as close as you can towards your belly and then folding over. Bring your forehead down to rest. If your forehead doesn't quite reach, you can bring a block or a pillow. Anything that gives you that support. Once again, we can also come into this position without any props, extending the legs out, allowing the toes to turn out the way slightly. We all inhale to reach from the crown of the head. And as we exhale, we start to fold forwards. Hands can come alongside the legs. What's really important here is that wherever we are, we want to let the head and shoulders get heavy. So either dropping the weight towards the legs or dropping the weight towards a pillow, a bolster, your block, wherever you can release this tension in the upper part of your back, your neck, and your head and your shoulders. And once again, finding those long and slow and controlled deep breaths. Noticing the back of the body, all the way from the toes through the soles of the feet, your heels, observing as your heels press gently into the mat. And then observing the back of the legs, starting by your calves, the back of your knees, moving up through your hamstrings until you reach your glutes. Allowing yourself to invite the breath into each of these parts of our body, inviting in this space, this softness. And seeing as if with every exhale, if you can invite a little bit more space by releasing tension, tightness. And then continue moving up through our lower back, noticing how the lower back feels. Noticing the vertebrae and the space between the vertebrae that we're creating as we curl our spine and our back downwards. Working your way up vertebrae by vertebrae, releasing the muscles across the back of the body until you reach your shoulder blades. Noticing as they get heavier. Noticing as your arms get heavier and pull your shoulders closer towards the mat. And then working up towards your face and clenching your jaw, releasing the facial muscles. Continuing to observe the sensations across the whole body. Continuing to breathe deep into the back of the body. And then taking 3 deep rounds of breath. Continuing to breathe slowly and controlled. We're going to start coming out of the posture at the end of our last and third exhale. So slowly as you next inhale, keeping the head super heavy, uncurling vertebrae by vertebrae. Just going at your own pace. There's no rush to come out of these positions, especially when we stay in them for a long time. As you next inhale, if your eyes aren't already open, slowly blink them open. We're going to come back to our swan or pigeon, this time onto the left side. So we're going to roll slightly onto the left glute as we send the right leg all the way back, bending the left knee. So we're bringing the left shin in together and then readjusting, bring the hands towards the front of the mat, readjusting here to your pigeon pose, taking whichever variation you took on the other side, but also observing how this side of the body feels. We're not symmetrical. So maybe this left glute is feeling a lot tighter or maybe less tight. So really seeing where you can go in the position. I always advise just moving a little bit here, maybe swaying from side to side to notice and observe how the hips and the glutes are feeling. And then we can go through our options once again. So you can bring a block or a pillow underneath the left glute, giving yourself a little bit more space, a little bit more lift, and then maybe also bring that left shin a little bit more towards a right angle. We can fold forwards, coming down either onto a second block, bring the forehead down to a second block, or you can bring a cushion, a pillow, a bolster, anything out in front of you to allow your torso and then your forehead to melt down towards. So this can be your variation for this side. You can also take the position without any props. So if you want to remove all props, you can also do that. So whatever feels good, really noticing and observing how this side of the body feels. And then whenever you're ready, melting down towards the mat. Wherever we are, we want to release the forehead, the shoulders. And then you can either keep the hands and the forearms close towards you, or once again, you can reach them out in front of you. We're letting our heart melt down towards the mat, or to the bolster or cushion or block. And we're melting into the hips, into the quads. Always returning to these long, slow, deep and steady breaths. Letting the breath guide us into this softness. Finding space and expansion. But also finding and tuning into this gentle, soft energy. Observing all the sensations, the feelings that are coming to the surface while we're on this side of the body. Once again, not holding on to anything, allowing it to float through us. Allowing ourselves space to feel without judgment, without questioning. Continuing to soften the body, a lot of our focus on the lower body, but continuing to soften our gaze, the facial features, and then clenching our jaw. Making sure we're not bringing any tension into our shoulders or arms or the upper body. And then once again, we're here for 3 more rounds of breath. Breathing slow and steady. The end of your third and final exhale. So bring some weight into the hands and the forearms as you slowly walk the hands back towards your leg. Reaching the crown of the head up, squeezing the shoulder blades, just taking a moment here. And if you have any props underneath your left glute, removing the props. Just slowly roll onto this left glute. We're going to bring both of the legs forwards this time, coming for a cross-legged seat. Reaching the crown of the head tall. Then you can either stay in upright cross-legged position, or if you want to come to your Shavasana, you can also come to your Shavasana. Lying flat on your back, releasing all the body downwards. Or staying seated. Wherever we are, we're closing the eyes or softening the gaze. We bring the palms facing upwards, either resting alongside our body or on our knees. We breathe. Slow, steady, and controlled breath. We observe all the sensations in our body, in our mind, in our heart. Finding a long spine. Turning to that soft energy. And noticing as the breath moves in through the nostrils, all the way down into our lungs, into our belly, and continues all the way into our fingertips and our toes. Works its way all the way back out as you exhale. Slowly coming from the extremities back to our center and out through the nostrils. As you observe the breath filling the body and slowly emptying. And start inviting this prana, this energy and life force back into your body. By gently inviting some movement, fingertips, maybe turning the palms so they're facing downwards. You're in your Shavasana. Start bringing more and more movement to your body, maybe into your ankles, your wrists, as you slowly guide the knees into your heart center. Maybe nodding the head or rolling from side to side. And then we'll all meet, coming to an upright, seated, comfortable position on our mat. Bring the hands to our heart center in our Anjali Mudra. Taking one more moment to ourselves, to thank ourselves for this practice, for showing up for our body and for our mind. Also giving ourselves the space and softness to tune into all the sensations across our heart, body, mind, and soul. And as always, I thank you for allowing me to guide you through this practice. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining for this gentle, slower, and maybe slightly longer yin. I hope you enjoyed the practice and that you're feeling this soft, gentle energy. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the practice down in the comments below. And if you did enjoy this practice, I would love if you could give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It really supports me, and I will be continuing to upload content throughout the month of January, but also in February. So you'll be getting 2 new videos every week. So there's going to be lots to choose from, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. We will see each other tomorrow. Bye.